minutes after we will start.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Good afternoon, students, for today's second session of SAP. Today with us, Nagaraj sir is there with us. And right now, we attendance are less, so we are waiting for the 5 to 6 minutes. Then after we will continue the session, and Nagaraj sir will start us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kunal. Good afternoon, students. So we'll wait for the others to join. In the meantime, all the attendees who have logged in already, if you have any questions, please put it up in the Q&A section. All right. I would have muted myself. I'll rejoin maybe say after a couple of more students join. All right.
Students who are posting their registration number, just post it once only. That's it. It will automatically, the data will be carried forward with the training department itself. So they will take care of it. If you have any query related to attendance, please contact the training department, training@icmai.in. And if you have any query related to login of energy platform, send a mail to skilltraining@icmai.in. Thank you.
Students, another 2 more minutes and we will start the session. All right, let me start. So even before we had our lunch break, somebody wanted some clarification on what is this NESW. It is simply you are categorizing your vendors or your customers based on the region, north, south, east, west. You may have that classification also. All the vendors towards the north, I'm classifying them. All the south-based vendors, I'm classifying them under the category south. East, I may classify them as the eastern group, the western group, the northern group, the southern group of vendors. So it all depends on how I want to classify my business partners or my customers or vendors. Same thing applies to your 25 lakhs also. Somebody asked me, can you please explain this? What is this? Greater than 25 lakhs. What is this 25 lakhs? It is the volume of purchases I generate with my vendor. So I may be having vendors with whom I do a huge volume of business, greater than 25 lakhs. Same thing with customers also. People who are giving me business more than 25 lakhs, high priority, medium priority, low priority. So like this, I classify my customers or vendors based on various business requirements. One could be your region. One could be the nature, import or local. Whether I have foreign vendors or customers or local vendors or customers. And I can also classify my customers as customers and vendors based on the business volume, what is generated. So in a year, if I do a business of more than 25 lakhs, I categorize them as high priority. Greater than 10 lakhs and less than 25 lakhs, medium priority. Less than 10 lakhs, low priority. Or you can say even less than 5 lakhs, whatever you can think about, or whatever your implementing partner requires, you will have to satisfy his requirement. Clear? So I have answered those two questions. So these were the questions which I saw in the Q&A section. I just thought probably I'll take it up even before I move on to the next topic. Right? Do I have any other questions? Just hold on. Okay, so let's continue. I'm taking you to the course content. A very, very critical thing as far as the accounts payable module is concerned. This is typically what you see when a consultant sets up the automatic payment program, APP. So this is just a guide. These are the graphics which you will see when we actually configure the steps for your automatic payment program. As I said, each and every screen what you open in SAP is guided through by a program. An ABAP program governs or rules every screen whatever you open in your presentation layer. Your automatic payment program also is governed by a program. What program? Let us talk about it a little later. Why is this automatic payment program? Forget about this, the graphs, don't worry about it. Understand why it is required. How it is being done, let us tackle it a little later. Now, why is this ever present in the SAP system? These are all how it is being done, how it is actually being done. Now let us see what exactly this payment program is all about and what it does. How it does, let's talk about it later. Now, whenever you talk about an automatic payment program, what is the logic behind having this? What does it do ultimately? Why is it required? To release the payment or to make the payment to n number of vendors. Now, if you're talking about a huge business concern, which may be dealing with thousands and thousands of vendors, right? It has to release the payment. Now, why are you looking at the system? Why do you want SAP? So without SAP also you are releasing payments to your vendors. Now, what does SAP offer? Now, the scenario before SAP could have been, what is the effort that you would take? Just imagine, I leave the question to you. If I had to deal with, say, 500 vendors and I need to release the payment, just imagine the effort. Second point, does any organization make the payments to vendors on a day-to-day basis? No, right? So any organization could be having fixed dates on which they execute or they release the payments. So probably my organization would decide to make the payments twice in a month, every 15th and every last day of the month. So I release a payment to my prime vendors on 2 days in a month. So what is the program taking care of? It is taking care of the huge list of vendors and also the date and the time. So normally what we consultants do is we schedule this automatic payment program, and later it becomes the responsibility of the accounts payable department head. Okay, that is a different story. But initially when I'm setting up the program as a consultant to exhibit, okay, or to show it to my implementing partner, this is how the program works. So I would fix up all this. Did you see something called as parameters? Parameter settings. These are all the parameters what I tell the SAP system. Also, what invoices are to be picked up for making the payment. What do I mean by this? Now, I have purchased raw materials, let us say on the 1st of July. On the 1st of July, my vendor has sent me an invoice to make the payment for the purchases what I made on 1st of July. Now, let us say the amount is 25 lakhs. Correct? Now, I may be having thousands of vendors or hundreds of vendors for whom I'm releasing such a huge amount. All right. Now what happens? Now should the SAP system, if I'm making the payment as of today, it is 10 days since he has sent me the items. So I'm likely to pay the money. Assume that I'm making the payment on this 15th of July. I want to, it is my regular date and time, 15 or the 30th. 30th or the 31st of every month, I release the payments to my vendors. Now, on the 15th of July, should the invoice get paid? The obvious answer is yes. Perfect. You're right. Now, suppose I have entered into an agreement with my vendor saying that I would want to have a credit period for 25 days. So this purchase activity becomes due only on the 7th. So should I release the payment on the 15th? So what does the system do? What should the system do rather? Should pick the payment terms. What is the credit limit allowed to me? What is the credit time allowed to my organization as far as this particular vendor is concerned? You got my point? Now, one more point. Let me assume a scenario where I'm releasing the payment on the 15th of July. So my payment becomes due on the 25th of July, no doubt about it. But there can also be a condition saying that if I release the payment, if I make a payment within 15 days, I earn a discount of 1 lakh rupees. So in this case, will the system pick up this invoice for payment? If I release the payment on the 15th, since I'm earning a discount of 1 lakh, I would ideally want this payment to be made on the 15th itself, though I'm given time till the 25th, but I'm earning a very attractive discount. So what should happen? The system should pick the it should pick up the discount terms also. So now do you see what and all should be considered even before you release a payment to your vendor? You should not lose out on the discount. You should not be penalized. You should not pay penalty for your late payment. So these are the things which should be considered by this particular program, which is the owner of a concept called as your automatic payment program. Sounds interesting? Yes, this is exactly what happens. See how intelligently the SAP system is coded, right? Did you see the conditions? And for some reason, he has defaulted. The vendor, he has supplied some substandard quality items. So you want to block the payment. So the program should also allow you to block payments. It should also allow you to block payments to certain vendors who have not kept up their time to supply the goods, or they have supplied low quality items, low quality raw material. Are you getting my point? So all these conditions should be picked up by your automatic payment program. Very interesting, right? So can you simply understand, or can you simply wonder how things are being wonderfully done in your SAP system? You agree with me, right? So these are the things which is taken care of by your APP, automatic payment program. A very, very crucial concept, and lots of things to be configured, lot of things to be set up. The first and the foremost thing, from where are these payments happening? See, another important thing. From where is the payment happening? Since this is an automated process, let me add this point. How should the payment happen? Automatically. all the payments to n number of vendors should happen automatically. Now, normally, how would you release the payments to your vendors? It is through your bank. So for you to have this particular program up and running, you should have the bank master. So the consultant needs to construct the banks also in the SAP system, which is called as the bank is in SAP is referred to as the bank of your business. Suppose I am carrying out, my organization is carrying out business and it has got a current account in ICICI Bank. So the consultant needs to create the ICICI Bank as the master bank in my SAP system. And this ICICI Bank is called as house banks. I can have n number of banks through which my business transacts. I could have one bank for making the salaries, for releasing the salaries of my employees. I can have one exclusive bank to make payments to the vendors. I can have one exclusive bank to receive money from my customers. I can have one bank for my day-to-day operations. So like this, based on how I want to function, I can design the SAP system, or I can ask the consultant to design the SAP system by having these many banks. So the first and the foremost requirement for you to trigger the payment activity is have the bank master. Clear? Now I'm telling you the physical requirements. These were all the logical requirements. These were all the logical requirements. This is the physical requirement. You should have the bank master. Now, I release, because of my experience, I would assume that every payment, every 15th or the 30th, I would release close to some 5 crores. Normally, my estimation is I release 5 crores as my payments to vendors on the 15th and as on the 30th, last day of every month. Now you have scheduled this program to run on the 15th. What should the program do? Shouldn't it also ensure that in the bank, if I'm releasing the payments through my ICICI Bank, it should also have this funds available? Shouldn't the system also check that? Also check the bank balances. I'll put it here. This also is a logical requirement. See how many things the program should do even before it executes the payments. Clear? Are you getting a fair idea about what is happening in the accounts payables payments? So you see how wonderfully this is programmed. This is being coded to take care of all this. So can you see how challenging the activities could be? The end user won't even know how this is happening. He will simply execute and stay quiet. Now, at the end of the program, what else must it do? it should knock off the paid invoices. It should cancel the paid invoices. It should cancel against the items. Correct? It should generate a financial entry as regards the payment. Correct? What do I mean by knock off the paid invoices? The vendor balance should reduce to this extent. Whatever invoices you have paid, you should reduce the balance of the vendor. You should reduce the balance of the liability. What I need to make a payment to the vendor. So all these things are happening automatically. Now do you see the magnitude of what the program should take care of? You will see some other wonderful things in SAP. Believe me, this is just the beginning. You will see wonderful things in SAP. And let me say, what else should SAP offer you? What do you want? After making the payment, every month, let me say, or maybe say at the end of the financial year, what should SAP do? I have released the payment. It has generated a financial entry. I also want the SAP system to generate the, what should it generate? Balance confirmations. Suppose I want to send across a statement as regards my outstanding, right? I should be able to compare it with my vendor's balance. Are we both showing the same balance as outstanding? If I'm showing, say, some 35 lakhs as an outstanding from my end, his books should also show 35 lakhs. He may generate the report from whatever system he is using. I am using SAP. My SAP is showing 35 lakhs as the outstanding. So shouldn't SAP also generate a statement where I confirm the balances? So this also is possible in SAP. You have a concept called as balance confirmations as far as your customer and as well as your vendor. You can print the statement and send it across either in the form of an email or whatever, so that he confirms back the balance. Clear? So can you see how this is just what it does? Okay, I'm not taking you to the system as to how it does. So all these things, can you see how huge the setup is? Even before I do all this, it should also generate checks. Or if I'm making a payment through your NEFTs or whatever, in case I'm following the same old traditional methodology of issuing checks, the system should also generate checks. This also it does. Clear? Sounds interesting? It is actually one of the most complex of the setup what a financial consultant does. Okay. Let me take up a few questions if there are any. Please explain knock-off paid entries. Okay. Now, when you make a payment to the invoice, the system would be showing a outstanding of 25 lakhs. Now, once when it pays, once when the system makes a payment of 25 lakhs, shouldn't the invoice be cancelled or shouldn't it be? Now, what will happen? What is the entry? Now, whenever there is a purchase account will be a debit. And the initial when he sends an invoice. Now, at the time of clearing the paid invoices, the purchase account will be a credit. Purchase account debit to vendor will be your entry. Clear? Am I telling the entry correctly? Now, when? So here in this case, it is purchase account debit. In this case, purchase account credit to whatever extent the payment has happened. If the invoice is paid completely, the whole invoice will be cleared. The system will not be showing that particular invoice as an outstanding. I hope I was clear. Or let me say, clear the paid invoices. Nullify the balance. I hope you have understood. I was clear in explaining this concept. Wonderful things. Let me also add clearing document. So the invoice is getting cleared through the generation of a clearing document. Okay. I hope you have understood. Have I been clear? Perfect. Actually, in any system, we have to input something. That is the beauty of SAP. This question somebody has asked me. In the system, we have to input data. How can it be automatically done? So these activities you are using SAP, you are working so much on SAP just to achieve this. With least human interference, the system should be so very beautifully designed that things are happening without you knowing about it, and things should happen accurately. That is why we are looking at an automated system. Oh, I have answered these questions. So you're feeding the invoices, open invoices. So this should be done manually. All right. But the payment, you are instructing the system to and consider all these things even before it releases the payment. The invoices or the purchase, the entries are happening behind the scenes. But there has to be a clerical activity being involved to input the basic data. Without the system having invoices, how will the poor system understand what needs to be paid or what does not need to be paid? It has to have some data, right? Which has to be input. Let us say one vendor has 100 invoices. So you have entered all the 100 invoices. You are a clerk. Should you also bother what invoices are due for payment, that the system will take care. Actually, you need to design the system in such a way that the system automatically picks up the invoices which are pending for payment. I hope I've answered that question. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Yes, Bruna, you're right. When I talk about, I think one Pushpen has asked me regarding the transaction codes. Can you please hold back this question till sometime later? All right. Perfect. I'm more than happy if I'm answering your queries to the best possible extent. But dear students, tell me, doesn't the system sound interesting? Forget the work involved. What needs to be done is something huge. But how the system is achieving all these things, isn't it wonderful? The end result, picking up the invoices, making the payments, generating the entries, checking the bank balance, whether the funds are available. Don't you think this is a wonderful job being done by the SAP system? I hope you all agree with me. Now, let's get back to the theory mode. Theory mode in the sense, reading the course content. So since I have explained all this, please read them too. Processing steps. Open items, that is invoices which are pending to be paid. Payment is due. Okay, these are referred to as your open invoices or your open items. And for what the payments have already happened, they are referred to as cleared items. Clear? So wonderfully done. What do you mean by proposal? So suppose you have blocked some vendors. As I said, I have blocked a specific vendor for late supply of items and the quality is also not good. So I have blocked the payment. In this case, I can go manually and block the vendor for so that the payment program does not pick that vendor for making the payment. This is called as a proposal. So I have the control to propose the list of vendors for whom I would want to make the payment. So even before I release a payment, I can check the proposal list. It generates the proposal list in the process of the payment program, right? And as a head of the payables department, I have the flexibility to decide to include or exclude the vendors by having a look at the proposal list. I can propose the payments for which vendors the system should release the payments. This is the meaning of proposal. All right. So all whatever I have said. Okay. So once the payment has been done, it also releases the payment summary. Okay, the payment proposal, the payment summary. All right. So all these are the concepts which we have already seen. See, click on each of the payment list to check the payment list, right? Payment media, whether you're releasing the payment in the form of a check, whatever. Okay. After successfully releasing the payment, it generates a financial document, right? Clear? Payment proposal, payment summary, payment advices. All right. As far as the closing activities in your AP is concerned, the most important thing is your balance confirmations, be it AR or AP. So GRIR reconciliation. What is this GRIR? Goods receipt, invoice receipt. So see, you see the supplier balance confirmation. We saw that. Correct? Balance confirmation reports. Now, what is this GRIR reconciliation? This is not of okay. GRIR stands for your goods receipt and your invoice receipt. What is this reconciliation? Now, whenever you receive the goods, the vendor supplies the items. You have the goods receipt. 100 kgs of items have come in. Now, but you have still not received the invoice from the vendor. You already have 100 kgs in your stores. You have only the information of the goods receipt, but the SAP system does not have a equivalent invoice for this particular receipt. This is your GRIR reconciliation. Clear? This is a concept of your GRIR reconciliation, what he's talking about. GRIR stands for your goods receipt and your invoice receipt. Okay. Foreign currency valuation. Suppose you are importing and you are having to do the transaction in your foreign currency. What is the profit or the loss that you are incurring based on this valuation of the foreign currency as on the date of purchase and as on the date of your payment? Are you making a profit or a loss? Clear? You can just see, you can just read them. What happened? When goods receipt valuated, invoice is a record with a material difference. Updated with postage. Posting period. You are very well aware of what is a posting period. You're also aware of the special period. Clear? Please read it. And you also have a, let me now check with the audio. Nothing is playing. What?
Video. Beginning of the fiscal year, the balance carry forward program is run,
You're able to hear
carrying
to the
forward the balances of the
audio?
vendor accounts to the next fiscal year.
Yes,
The
sir.
posting periods of
Perfect.
the old fiscal year are blocked and the special periods for closing postings for fiscal year adjustments are opened. Afterwards, the balances with selected vendors are confirmed, the foreign currency documents are valuated, and the accounts payable are regrouped according to remaining live, required only in certain countries. Once complete, the special periods can be closed.
So now you got a feel of the audio also, how each and every slide has a supporting audio along with the video also. Clear?
So now that we understand period and closing activities, let's learn about reconciling the GR or IR account.
Just read them through. I've just told you what it is all about. All right. Foreign currency. All right. See, missing invoice or the goods receipt. So I have the goods, but I have no supporting invoice, right? So there is a mismatch. Amounts don't match up, correct? That's what I said, mismatch. So just go through this. It is all self-explanatory as far as your knowledge level goes, because you're all, as of now, partially qualified CMAs, but with your knowledge as final CMA students, you should be very well on your own. You should be in a position to understand this. Clear? See how the responsibility increases once you are professionally qualified. Clear? In the field of SAP, most of the things you need to pick up on your own. Hardly you will be having anybody to help you. Logic. Why? Because even if I want to help you, I will not be having the time to help you. I'll be held up in my own work. So it is not that I don't want to help you. It is just because I don't have the time to help you, because I have my own work in the organization to deliver. Then I'll be held responsible for my balance work. That is the reason as to why the scenario in SAP is self-learning. You should learn on your own. Not that there will be no support. You will definitely be having the support, but as far as the learning is concerned, you need to be very well on your own. Okay? And let me repeat, even if you do not understand any of this particular, so let us say you don't understand what is GRIR reconciliation, forget about it. Don't worry. You don't understand foreign currency valuation, but just know what it is. You don't have to give me a technical description or an in-depth description as to what is a GRIR reconciliation account and how you, nothing. What is it? It is simply a mismatch. Mismatch between what and what? What is a foreign currency valuation? So if you are in a position to know this, it is more than enough. Probably if you see an in-depth explanation, don't bother about it. Don't bother. Right? See, you have the Fiori apps for this monitor GRIR, and there is a graphical explanation as to what is a GRIR reconciliation, how it happens. This is exactly what I say. Supplier balance confirmations. You are striking the balance between what you are showing along with your vendor. You may be showing 35 lakhs. He may be showing more. He may be showing some 36 lakhs or even 40 lakhs. Why? Because there is a mismatch in your GR and IR. You would not have received the invoices. He would have already dispatched it. So the invoices are still stuck in the way, on the way. So this constitutes the reconciliation item, reconciling item. Clear? This is one of your first and the foremost audit requirement. As soon as the auditor walks in to check the books of accounts, The first and the foremost thing what he does is balance confirmations. Okay, you can, I think you can check on each one of them. Ask for confirmation of specific amounts and the reply irrespective of whether the amounts match or they do not match. It's still okay. You're just checking. They are only the reply even in case they disagree. So just spend some time reading that. I have told you I have just given you a gist of whatever happens during in the AP part of your FI module. Now, one more interesting thing is, normally what balance will the vendor show? Purchase account debit to vendor. Vendors always show a credit balance. Correct? Do you agree with me? Now, what are the cases in which the vendors can show a debit balance or customers can show a credit balance? So your payment program necessarily is used to pay the customers also for the unfavorable balance. Why do you think this happens? As I said, the vendors can show a debit balance if they owe us the money. Normally, I as a business organization need to make a payment to my vendors. But because of the bad supply, I have returned the items. I have returned all the items, but I've made a payment. I have made a payment for all the 100 kgs, whatever I have received. But in that 100 kgs, I'm not in a position to use even 1 kg. So all the 100 kgs, because of some dispute, I am returning. Correct? Now the vendor will show a debit balance. Clear? In the vice versa case, the customers, they will also show an adverse balance. They will also show an unfavorable balance because of these conditions. Suppose he returns the items back to me. I have sold, say 100 items to my customer, but my customer, after bad quality or whatever, he returns all the items back to my business and he has made a payment. My customer has already made a payment. So these are the scenarios, okay, which can also be dealt with in SAP. Reclassify accounts payable with a debit balance, reclassify accounts receivable with a credit balance. I think you may also see that. Okay. Lesson summary. Now we move on to accounts receivable. So whatever we saw in the accounts payable process, it is the reverse.
Hi, Raghav.
Hi Richa, how can I help you?
I want to learn about the accounts receivable process.
Accounts payable is used to records and manages the accounting data of each customer. Here you will learn about maintaining customer master records in the SAP S/4HANA system, maintaining accounts receivable transaction, managing customer correspondence, integration aspects between receivables management and SAP dispute and collections management, integration between sales and accounts receivable, and performing accounts payable closing operation.
So this is the gist, as you have heard in the audio. So it would be advisable if I take a, let me go to the next. Shall I come back to the accounts receivables, maybe say tomorrow? Will that be okay? Try to understand accounts payable. I didn't understand this question. Knockoff period is the same as bills payable days. Probably yes, if you're talking about the discount days, whatever I said, if you're telling that, yes. Knocking off is simply nullifying the invoice. You're clearing the invoice. Clear? I hope I answered your question.
Sir, जो
Yeah, Kunal.
main 4 question थे, I think all सब answered हो चुके हैं ना?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Thank you, Kunal. You have
Okay,
answered.
okay.
You have answered them very
Sure,
well.
sir. Thank you, sir.
अरे कुणाल, तुमने तो पूरा प्रोसेस एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. वेरी गुड.
Thank you, sir.
Good, good. ट्रांजैक्शन कोड भी यूज कर दिए. मैं वहां तक तो पहुंचा ही नहीं. ओके.
Actually, sir, वो question जिस हिसाब से था उसमें ये requirement था, तो मैंने उसको respond किया.
ठीक ठीक. Now, interestingly, let me talk about some very, very general things what you are about to encounter. Let me see the next topic. Management accounting. It is all about your. Oh, I've already did 633. My bad. All right. So we were in slide number 378, I guess. Right? We were talking about accounts receivable. Okay. Now, somebody had asked me a question as regards what is a transaction code? Very general, not it is not pertaining to any of the finance concepts or anything like that. Now, as I said, each and every transaction in SAP is governed by a program. Okay. Now it could be a simple journal voucher entry. It could be a sale invoice entry. It could be a purchase invoice entry. It could be a vendor payment. It could be a customer receipt. All these things, all these transactions. To carry out all these transactions, you must go to a specific place in the SAP screen, select the option, what you want to do, and then proceed. You cannot do all the operations in one particular screen. Your sales screen is different, your sales invoice entry is different, your purchase invoice entry is different, your vendor payment screen is different. Clear? Now, each one of the options you can reach by entering a shortcut key . A shortcut key to enter transactions in SAP is called as your transaction code. So I think in one of your questions, I saw some transaction code FB60 or something, vendor invoice. So what is FB60? This is your shortcut key for you to enter the vendor invoice. Clear? Now, if at all you want to do it traditionally, there is in the SAP screen, you have a space for you to enter your transaction code, or you can navigate through the SAP screen to reach this place.